Happy Tuesday, everybody. Happy Tuesday. A lot of things going on right now. This is not going to be a regular live, but there's a lot to talk about. So as I'm sure most of you all have known, the video is well on its way to 1 million views, well before 24 hours. Candace Owens dropped a video yesterday teasing the Erika Kirk documentary. And before I show you all that video, I'm going to just tease a couple of things. Number one, these 4 people on the screen that you see right here have something in common. In fact, they have quite a few things in common. Despite Michael Jackson's skin condition, that thing would not be race. It would not happen to be race. It would actually be something else that they have in common. And I'm just going to give you all a heads up. I am currently working on research for a short documentary drawing the comparisons between these people. I don't have to say these people's names. If you know, you know. What you know, you know. But we're going to get into it. I don't know if I'll be able to drop it on YouTube. I'm sure I'll be able to find a censored way to drop it on YouTube. Quite a few of my videos have been shadow banned over the past couple of months, sitting at like 10 or 15,000 views, despite it being some of the best content I've ever dropped on this channel. So I'll keep you all in the loop as it relates to that. But that documentary is going to be groundbreaking. It's going to be groundbreaking, especially for those that are arguing that Charlie Kirk was taken out by a lone power who had this leftist ideology, which is an old it's just from a playbook. It's just old from the same playbook, right? And so stay tuned for that. That's going to be a pretty big deal. If I have enough time, I may drop a video or may go live later today regarding Jeffrey Epstein and some very interesting things that I haven't seen anyone else cover surrounding that situation. So stay in tune for that. I'm just glancing at my notes. Oh yeah, so maybe about a month ago, I spoke to this lady, and I hate to tease you all without being able to give you all the content in real time, but my hands are tied right now. But I spoke to a lady who I believe is the real Erika Kirk. Yes, you heard me correctly. And no, I'm not talking about the Erika Kirk who was married to the governor of Florida back in the 60s. If you don't know, if you haven't seen that video, if I can remember, I'll link it in the description. But we covered that Governor Kirk in Florida back in the 1960s married a woman by the name of Erika, who became Erika Kirk by marriage. Well, this Erika Kirk was a suspicious, weird character that people didn't know much about, similar to Erica Franchvey, and she looks eerily similar to Erika Kirk. But that's not even who I'm talking about. This is a completely different lady. She proved to me who she was, and this was well over a month ago, right? But without her permission, I'm not comfortable talking about her story until she's ready to talk about her story. But I want you all to stay tuned for that, because that's going to be a pretty big deal. All right. What's something else? Oh yeah, speaking of Erika Kirk, for those of you that don't know, according to the Daily Wire, the one and only Daily Wire, Erika Kirk will actually be speaking, or I don't know if she'll be speaking, but she will be guest appearing. Let me see if I can pull it up. At the Erika Kirk. Let's see if I can pull this up. All right. Let me share the screen so you all can see this in real time. So just in, President Trump has invited Erika Kirk to be his special guest at his State of the Union address tonight, per Daily Wire's posting. Trump has stuck by Erika since Charlie's unaliving, and even presented her with the Presidential Medal of Freedom for Charlie on her late husband's birthday last year. Now, I just want to give you all this little nugget. The person that I just spoke about being the real Erika Kirk, Just keep in mind everything that I just read from this post, because it will be relevant at a later time. That's all I can say for now, because I'm already getting ahead of myself. All right. Next up, I want everybody to take a listen. Well, let's first watch the video from Erika, not Erika, from Candace, the teaser video that I'm sure most of you all have seen. But let's take a look at it together so that there is no confusion.
President Trump says that Kirk has died after he was shot from a nearby building after being shot at Utah Valley University. The great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead.
The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry.
I didn't even get to give him a kiss goodbye.
That young man, I forgive him.
Take your time.
Erika Kirk has been named the new CEO of Turning Point USA.
My husband's dead. Like, I'm not trying to be morbid, but he's dead.
It's weird to say excited.
Describes her husband's funeral as the event of the century. Merch, hats.
We have 50,000 plus hat orders.
Nobody knows why she's out there in a glittering pantsuit in a recreated tent that her husband tragically was murdered in, throwing merch out.
Everyone grieves differently, so if someone's acting weird, don't read into that.
Zionists, the Prime Minister of Israel, all lied through their teeth about Charlie Kirk.
Her operation was in Constanta, the epicenter of Romania's trafficking scandal.
Weird conversations to have with a 15-year-old. I'm going to touch your butt.
$8.6 million to their own shell company. What is going on?
We have nothing to hide. My aunt used to tell me, never do something that you don't want on the front page of a newspaper.
Yeah. It premieres tomorrow. A lot of people have been freaking out, and I say a lot of people, and we're going to cover a lot of those people, because it's not just random fans. We're talking about people in politics. Former members of the FBI have all came out, made videos, and it's all coordinated. Now, I'm going to, in this video, this is a sort of a summary or an overview of what it is exactly I want to do in this video, in this live today. I want to give you all a prediction of what I believe the documentary or the limited series documentary or the limited documentary series, if I can speak correctly, what I believe is going to consist of, because, I mean, it's been four months. There's been a plethora of people that have conducted and released quite a bit of information about Erika Kirk at this point we're just at a time now where if you don't see it, you're choosing not to see it. All right. There's just too many videos out there, too much research, too much information that's been released, too many coincidences, all from people from different walks of life. Everybody can have an agenda. We all don't have a dog in the fight, right? We all don't have a bone to pick with Erika Kirk. Right. So if you're choosing not to see these things, that's by choice. I'm going to talk about what I believe will be the aftermath effect of the documentary, because I do believe this will be a big deal. It's one thing for me to make a gazillion videos about Erika Kirk. It's one thing for another YouTuber to do it. But it's another thing for a YouTuber or a content creator with a combined 20, 30 million, followers to be doing it, who actually knew these people on a personal level. That's a completely different level. All right. I also plan to tell you all in this video why I believe many people, because you're going to see in a lot of the tweets and things that we react to in this live today, you're going to see quite a few people saying, why aren't more people calling out Candace? Have y'all seen the documentary? Okay. I'm going to tell you why it is that I believe that multiple people have refused to come out and say something, who are friends with Candace, who are refusing to take the same position as Candace. I'm going to tell you why I believe it is that they have chosen not to say. As a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and tell you that now. I believe it's because, believe it or not, I think the safest way to form this sentence or to phrase this is to say, I believe that many of them have dirt on each other. That's why. I believe by coming out and speaking out against Candace, they are placing themselves in a position where they could be exposed about certain things that's taking place behind the scenes in these conservative circles. I do believe that. I believe it's dirt on both sides. As I've told you, I don't believe just because you're conservative, claim to be Christian, that you're free of any wrongdoing. Of course not. Many people it's just as many racist people on the right as there is on the left. There's just as many PDF files on the right as there is on the left. The left and the right is just a political affiliation, but I digress. So I believe that these people have dirt on each other. And so they know that if they come out and speak out against Candace, when she has as much of a following as she has, if she releases certain information about them with receipts, it could really tarnish their brand. So they're choosing to move appropriately. Brandon Tatum being one of them. Everything I say in this video is alleged. I don't know if that's true. That is what I have come to believe. And I'm going to explain to you all why I believe that this is orchestrated. That is all the responses that I'm about to show you. I don't believe it's organic. I know many of you all don't believe it's organic. It's clear once you start to read. What is it? I think I had it somewhere. Hold on one sec. It was like a collage picture that I took of all these different people. Check out all these different people. All making the same statements. Evil, satanic, demonic, all around the same times. It's not organic. All right. One of these people is going to be this guy named Reverend Jordan Wells. And we're going to get to him in just, as a matter of fact, we're going to get to quite a few of these people here in just a moment. But first, I want to react to Mr. Dan Bongino. Yes, the same Dan Bongino that was just a part of the FBI, did very little to nothing, arrested no one in politics, arrested no one from the quote-unquote deep state, even though we know many people that's a part of the deep state is from that one foreign country, and many people that we actually see and they claim to be the good guys. They are literally the deep state. Even though we know that, Dan Bongino stepped down in just a year into the role, and then just had Kash Patel, director Kash Patel, on his show pretending that everything's perfect. Why did you step out of this FBI role where you were literally in a position to get the bad guys? Why are you podcasting again? Because they need a voice to try to mitigate or try to stifle all of the noise that's calling out the corruption, right? And the flip-flopping that Trump and the Trump administration has been doing since they've been back in the White House. That's why. Right? I do believe that many of them are bots, but I do believe that some of these people are real people, and we're going to get into that. All right? But like I said, let's start with our good old buddy, Dan Bongino. If you haven't seen what Dan Bongino said yet, oh boy, you are going to be in for a treat. One sec. Because Dan Bongino, he said quite a few things. Let's get into it. Let me make sure this is the best way possible. It looks good on you all's end. Let's take a listen to what Dan Bongino had to say. Let's start with him first.
You know, just can you guys throw up that tweet from Seth Dillon? You know Seth Dillon from the Babylon Bee?
Yeah. Seth Dillon, who has said, what would Charlie have to say about this? And what would he think of his so-called friends who can't summon the courage to say it for him? This is the same Seth Dillon who, according to Candace and a couple of others, was allegedly at this Hamptons meeting when Charlie Kirk was being completely ramsacked ridiculed, right? Reprimanded for his event earlier this year in July where he featured Tucker Carlson and Dave Smith. That guy. Pretty sure Seth is a Zionist. As you all will see, there's going to be a pattern here. Most of the people we react to in this video will conveniently all be Zionist.
Really, really good guy.
Sure.
I like Seth a lot. I've known Seth for a while.
I heard
Run into him in restaurants around the area. I just ran into him at an event.
What a surprise.
So this is, in case you're listening on Apple or Spotify and you're not watching on Rumble, Seth put out a tweet. It is about I don't know what to call it, some production Candace Owens is putting together called Bride of Charlie, an investigative series. And Seth says, what would Charlie have to say about this? And what would he think of his so-called friends who can't summon the courage to say it for him?
By the way, Candace Owens responded to this and she said, Charlie would have said that he wished that I as in Candace, would have attended that Hamptons meeting with him. Whenever you're ready, Dan.
I've only been back 4 weeks. I'm just a guy, folks, okay? I'm not a superhero. I can't snap my finger and change everything, just like I couldn't snap my finger and just jump back right into this. It takes weeks for me to transition from this to go over to the government job and then to come back. You've got,
Yeah. It takes weeks for you to join the FBI, do absolutely nothing of what you said you would do, come back to podcasting with after just a year into the job and pretend that you did not just fail this country, dude. It's all right if you weren't able to get the job done, but at least own it. You're not owning it. You're getting slammed in your comment section, pretending that we don't have brain cells and we don't have the wherewithal to figure out that you were a pawn from the jump, bro. You were sent back out into the podcasting world to be another plant. We can all see it. Now you're talking about you don't know what this is. What you mean? If you watched it, you know exactly what it is. If you spent 2 seconds on the internet over the past 3 months, you know exactly what this is. There's countless red flags, not only about Erika Kirk's past, but about her behavior since Charlie Kirk was allegedly taken out. There's too many. At this point, you can't deny it.
Just a guy. I don't, in 4 weeks, I'm trying to triage myself, what I should talk about, how not to Streisand effect things. I can't have conflicts with my prior job. I think you all understand what I mean. But this just can't be what this movement is.
What? What does that mean?
And if it is, I just don't want any part of it.
You got to say more.
I just don't. I know we live in this artificial environment now for many people. I'm not criticizing, you and my chat and the Army folks out there have always been there for me, but we live in this artificial world of influencer culture and how morals and ethics have evaporated and everything is about how many views I've been in the business a long time. I can promise you, we've never done sugar high view bullshit. But I'd rather have no audience. I would rather live stream to Guy, Josh, Andrew, Justin, and Jasmine for a total of 6 live streamers than to be part of any movement that's part of.
What do you notice? Notice he still has yet to say what his issue is with it. He's blowing hot air. There's no substance in anything that he's saying. He's talking in circles. But I'm sure you all have already been able to pick that up.
I would tell you, the truth and say Charlie was my good friend, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. No, it doesn't. Whether Charlie was a lot of people's friends. I didn't own Charlie. Everyone had a piece of Charlie. Charlie was like that. You out there in my listening audience who know Charlie, you know what I'm talking about. Charlie made everybody feel special. The man had the je ne sais quoi. And if I knew what the je ne sais quoi is, it wouldn't be called the je ne sais quoi. But it doesn't matter that I was his friend. It makes no difference. No human being deserves this. I want to be clear what I'm not saying. And I will never say. If you're not breaking the law, you have every right to speak out and make a fool out of yourself. That is what a republic is about. I've invested my entire business career in platforms that allow people to speak. I fully support that. I do not support any kind of censorship efforts at all. That's a full stop. I just want that out of the way right now. And I'm not suggesting anyone else is saying that either. But folks, this isn't part of any movement I'm familiar with.
He just keeps repeating it. Like, no, there's a shorter clip I'm going to find here. Let me find this shorter clip where it gets sort of straight to the point of what the juiciest part of what it is that he had to say. Let me pull that up. Give me 1 sec. Because it will work a lot better. Because there's some point in the video, it's some point where he says that people who accuse Erika Kirk of being involved in Charlie Kirk's unaliving deserve physical torture and the torments of hell on every inch of their bodies. He calls those people demonic scumbags who will go to hell unless they accept the FBI's account of what they claim happened to Charlie. Here, let's pull that up. Let's get straight to it, because he's just talking in circles in the longer clip. Let's get straight back to it. Okay.
Erika didn't choose this, man.
Oh, boy.
She didn't choose this.
She didn't choose what? Like, you gotta help me explain. You gotta help me understand. Are you saying that she didn't choose to place herself in front of cameras nonstop over the past 4 months? Book tour, Amfest, glittery pantsuits, drawing unnecessary attention to herself when she's supposed to be a grieving widow with children. No one forced her to go to Fox News. Thank you for speaking out at least once so that people can hear from you. No one forced her to hop onto a freaking conference call with TPUSA employees just days after everything happened with Charlie, bragging about the amount of money that they made.
Imagine sitting there in your house and you find out from Twitter or, I don't know, a text or a phone call or that your husband was just shot in the neck for the entire world to see on social media at a public event. I can't imagine that. I know you can't either. Then you got to go through this. And you got a bunch of absolute fucking lunatics sending her emails. You did it. Comments, tweets. Fuck you.
Oh boy.
Fuck
oh boy.
you. Fuck
Oh, boy.
you. Go fuck
Oh,
yourself. You demonic fucking
Oh,
scum.
Okay. So you should. Okay, I'll shut up, y'all. I'll let him finish and then I'll go.
For as much as I hate what just happened, I wish ill on no one, and everyone should restrain their emotions from the other side because they are not on our side.
Oh boy. There's no
everyone.
Oh boy.
Once you go down the road of violence, there's no turning back. There's always someone stronger than you, man. Always. There's a whole lot of people stronger than me. And I'm sorry if the language distracts from you, but I can think of no other New York way to say it than fuck you, motherfuckers. You deserve to feel the little licks of the flames of hell on every inch of your body. Fuck you. If there's an afterlife, oh, and I believe there is, I believe in the second creation. I don't pretend to be the judge and jury, but I know you're not in it.
Okay. So many things here. The first obvious thing here is for you to speak this way means that you have absolute certainty that you know exactly what happened to Charlie. You know every person that may have been complicit. You know every person who is exonerated from possibly being complicit. And you were with said person, in this case, Erika Kirk, every second of her life for at least the first year or two, prior year or two of this happening to Charlie. If that does not apply, how do you know if Erika Kirk is innocent of anything? You don't know. Listen, we've been repeating this and we're going to repeat it again. The spouse is always the number one suspect until they can be ruled out. As far as we know, Erika has never been investigated outside of the internet. Now, I meant to say this at the beginning, but let me say this now before I forget. Again, if a person is upset with Candace Owens, if a Christian or a follower of Christ is upset with Candace Owens or anyone else for this matter for investigating Erika Kirk publicly because you do not have definitive proof that she had anything to do with Charlie's demise or alleged demise, and if you're arguing from a scriptural perspective, it may not be the most biblical thing to do publicly until you are absolutely for certain, then I would better understand, myself included. If you felt that way about me, I would better understand. But that's not what we're seeing. Here's the problem. They're upset that you're even entertaining it, period. They're upset that you are even noticing things. How dare you tell us to not use our common sense? Dan Bongino tried to push the left versus right paradigm, but the ironic thing is he just behaved of the stereotypical leftists. Ad hominems, insults, and ad hominems, completely ignoring the substance, the content in which is being shared. That goes out the window. I'm not going to actually talk about the things that we just watched in that documentary teaser. No. If I'm Dan Bongino, I'm going to show you the teaser, the documentary teaser, and the very things that's stated in there, including potentially grooming a 15-year-old girl. All of those things, I don't care about the evidence. I don't care about what is actually being stated. If there's actual proof. I don't even know if you're going to provide information that we don't even know yet about Erika Kirk that could 100% implicate her. I don't care. It's evil that you're even looking into it. Huh? Okay, let's get into some of these. Hold on one sec, because actually I have a couple of tweets screenshotted. This is a very common guy on YouTube. On Twitter, if you all know who this is. Guy by the name of Joel Berry. He says this is the pea soup vomit we've come to expect from Candace. But let's talk about what's fueling it. The cowardly silence of the church. The cowardly silence of professional talkers who built their brands on quote unquote courageous truth telling. Cowards as far as the eye can see. Once again, we see no rebuttal of anything mentioned. Only that he's upset that she's even doing it to begin with. That should tell you everything you should know. That should tell you everything you should want to know. But I want to get to, and then this guy by the name of Ian Harworth says anyone who doesn't condemn this is a fraud or a coward or both. But let's get to some of the juicier ones that I've been waiting to look into. Actually, I think I have him pulled up already. Where is he at? There he is. Let's pull this guy up. Does anyone know who Jesus is? Before I get into this guy, does anyone know who Jesus, the body language guy, is? Put a 1 in the chat if you know who Jesus is. So there, I'm okay, perfect. Most of you know who he is. I'm about to have fun with this one. So for those of you that don't know, Jesus is just what the title of his name here says, the body language guy. He's really, really popular on YouTube. He says here, Candace Owens released a trailer of her expose on Erika Kirk. This will be a good time for Charlie Kirk's friends to say something, anything about this. The only one who told Candace to leave Erika alone was Matt Walsh, and that was 2 months ago. Where are the rest? Just as a side note, Matt Walsh is a coward. Matt Walsh is working for somebody who is posing to be a conservative, but he isn't really a conservative, and he's also not America First. But Matt Walsh does not have the courage or the balls to leave the organization or to speak out against the very things that Ben Shapiro is pushing, which are quite literally anti-American. He is also a racist. He just released a documentary talking about the truth about slavery. For some reason, he's super focused on black folks when the black folks own nothing in this country, have no power in this country. It's all white folks and Jewish people. The country is going to crap, and the people that's in control, he's not speaking about them. He's speaking about communities who don't have control in this country. But I digress. But let's get into some other things that this guy stated. So he says, so if you all remember the guy Gary Melton from Paramount Tactical, he puts out this tweet stating, exploding mic theory. Don't you ever wonder why those pushing the quote-unquote exploding mic theory will never have an explosive expert on to discuss the plausibility? Don't you find that suspicious? Right? So Jesus responds, and he says, I debunked every single retarded SHIT out there on my channel, including the palm gun one. I never made a video about the exploding mic thing because I considered it an insult even to retards. This is very interesting because Jesus, first and foremost, is Venezuelan. He's Venezuelan speaking on American issues. 2, I've already spoken about Jesus before on this channel. Jesus is what you would call a fence sitter. You ever heard of that term, a fence sitter? Jesus is a fence sitter because early on, he tried to defend Erika Kirk. But then when majority of the people in his comment section on both X and YouTube were completely calling him out for completely mischaracterizing the body language of Erika Kirk and the obvious red flags about her early on, we're not saying the lady's guilty of anything other than weird behavior. Once he started to notice the overwhelming comments in his comment section, he changed his tune, but I don't mean he changed his tune in a honest manner. As to say, once he realized that he may have been wrong, he switched it up. That's not what I mean. He changed his tune to starting to react to Erika Kirk videos because all the other body language expert people were feasting off of this free content that Erika Kirk was giving to them. They were like, oh, another video? Erika Kirk has gotten in front of the camera again? Let's react to this again. Meanwhile, he was trying to push a narrative and it wasn't working. Erika Kirk was just too weird. So then what he would do is he would put out a video where he would seem objective and he would say, while I would say that this is a bit weird and this does seem that she's guilty of something or she may not be telling the truth, I would like to remind you all that it is just body language. We don't have any evidence of anything. At the end of the day, she is still a grieving widow. Why are you riding the fence, bro? We're not coming to you to be our therapist. We're not coming to you to be our fortune teller. We're coming to you as the body language expert. I thought you were the expert. But when regular Joe Schmoes or Schmo Joes in the comment section is able to analyze her body language better than you, you were losing credibility. Now you're on here tweeting nonstop. How about you deal with the content of what's actually being stated? Right? So yeah. So let's move on to the next person. Like I said, we're about to have fun with this. We're about to have fun with this. We're about to have fun with this. This next person we're going to be reacting to is somebody by the name of Kristen Hawkins. Somebody give me a one in the chat if you know who Kristen Hawkins is. But don't worry, I'm not going to waste too much time. I'll go ahead and explain to you who Kristen Hawkins is, and I'm actually excited to speak about this. Kristen Hawkins, I'm going to first read her tweet. She says, Erika Kirk is a godly woman. What is happening to her is more evil than I could have ever imagined. Now, we're not going to digress too much in this video, but we have to talk about this. Those of you that don't know, Kristen Hawkins is what I would call a legendary, or I would say she's a woman who has done legendary work for the pro-life cause. She is conservative leaning, and she goes to campuses. She has, as a matter of fact, here, let's do this together. Let's just go to her YouTube. I'll show it to you. Let's do this together. I'll show it to you. I'm going to show you who she is because this is important. It's important to understand who these people are. All right. So, boom. Let's go. It's like Kristen Hawkins. It's like Life of America or something. Boom. This is Kristen Hawkins. Students for Life of America. Why is this important? Because she has some legendary. I mean, 3.2 million. Pro-choicer defeated by simple logic. Kristen Hawkins crushes pro-choice logic. 2 million, 2 million, 2 million. 1.5, 1.7 million. She has legendary debates with college students and other quote unquote professionals who are mostly pro-choice. She is pro-life. Why am I sharing this? Because there's a guy by the name of Russell from an organization called Abolitionist Rising, who you can say, for lack of a better term, put me on game. He put me on game about Mrs. Kristen Hawkins, because Kristen Hawkins claims to be a conservative, claims to be pro-life. But then I was educated on the difference between pro-life and abolitionist. I didn't know that there was a difference. I thought that I was pro-life. And then I found Abolitionist Rising. If you haven't found that YouTube, I would highly encourage you to go and check them out and subscribe to them. Because people like Kristen Hawkins will argue for pro-life. However, they do not believe that there should be any punishment for anybody who still chooses to unalive their children in the womb, even if it's up to 9 months. Viable, ready to give birth, if they choose to unalive their child. They don't believe that there should be any consequences of the mother. I'm not talking about a 12-year-old who is completely uneducated, being brainwashed by their parents or the adults that's around them. I'm talking about a 30-year-old woman, fully aware that it's a human, fully aware of what she's doing. Kristen Hawkins does not believe that no woman should ever be punished. They should be allowed to do it, but they should be educated going forward. But even if they did it again, they shouldn't be punished. They should be educated going forward. They also do not believe in pushing any bills that prohibits women from getting them in certain scenarios. But I know I'm stepping into a completely different topic here. But I was educated on Kristen because Kristen, I just told you, she's a legendary when it comes to debating college students and other professionals. She will not debate an abolitionist because she's going to be exposed. She and other people like her, a lot of pro-lifers, will literally vote against abolitionist bills. If you're a pro-lifer, that means that you're trying to preserve life of the child in the womb, correct? Abolitionists are trying to make it legal or illegal to unalive children in the womb. Pro-lifers like Kristen Hawkins will vote against their bills so that it can still be legal in multiple examples or multiple scenarios. Kristen Hawkins, I'm not shocked to be seeing her state this right here, which is my ultimate point, because she is uneducated and she is dishonest. She is disingenuous. She's an incomplete debater, right? She's one of those people that speaks to only hear herself spoken, but she's not ready to refute better rebuttals, right? You're supposed to be about children and protecting children, and somebody responds to you and says, shows the screenshot of Erika's conversation with this child. You have no response, right? And that's what most people are saying. I'm so proud of these people. They're saying Erika groomed an underage girl and seems to have had prior knowledge to the pow-powing op carried out on her asset, for whom she was a beard. Now, that I don't know. Maybe that's a bit far. I know a lot of us may feel that, but I'm not willing to state that unequivocally. All right. So I just wanted to give you all a little bit of background on who Kristen Hawkins is. Now let's move to the next person. This guy goes by the name, you all may have not heard of this guy before. He goes by the name of Tyler Boyer. Let's see what our buddy Tyler Boyer had to say. This was gold. Let's see here. Hopefully he didn't delete it. Hopefully he didn't delete it. Where it's at. Didn't realize he tweeted this much. Let's see. We're going to get there. There it is. So he says here, the attacks on Turning Point, Charlie's wife, his children, his legacy are supported by those with an agenda and in many cases funded by international sources that that loathe Americans. President Trump, conservative ideology percolating amongst young people and by extension, activists who defend them. We are at a critical time in this country where the left has failed so miserably at convincing Americans to get on board for their radical woke stances. I do agree with him on that, but that was also that was a psyop as well, not by the left, but by the deep state. The deep state is both the left and the right. But I digress. He goes on to say, and now are equipping low IQ performance media to destroy the country. This is their Hail Mary attempt. This is their Hail Mary to attempt to destroy candidates for president, win midterms, and apply their vision for hijacking elections in red states through ranked choice voting, motor voter mail ballots, expanding ballot manipulation schemes, including controlling adjudication. If this happens, America will become unrecognizable, and we are 1.5 elections away from that. There is no greater evil than what America is up against right now. Patriots will need to band together, prioritize winning, reject mentally challenged attacks on conservatives, busy themselves with positive things to defeat Democrats at the ballot box in order to recognize the threat at our doorstep, or else we will live in a deposition for a generation. Now, I want to go back up here to something he said. He said, this is their Hail Mary attempt to destroy. This is their Hail Mary to attempt to destroy candidates for president, win midterms, and apply their vision for hijacking elections in red states. Or, Mr. Boyer, maybe an actual hijacking and trying to prevent someone from becoming president was the alleged pow-powing of Charlie Kirk. Whether he's really going or not, what we know is he'll never be president again, or he'll never be able to run for president. He'll never have that opportunity again. That was someone with real president potential, but the problem is the left isn't who we believe did this. The evidence actually support that it was most likely an inside job. Why aren't you talking about those things? Why is it that it's only Zionists and TPUSA who are refusing to talk about the Epstein files, who are refusing to talk about all the red flags about Erika Kirk? Well, I guess we know the answer to that. And are refusing to talk about all the red flags surrounding the Charlie Kirk pow-powing. Why is that? Why is that, Tyler Boyer? Right? I'm pretty sure I believe Ian Carroll responded to this. Somebody said TPUSA is a terrorist org. You funnel millions to Jake Hoffman for a company with no employees. You are a fake elector with Jake, and your org busts January 6th insurrectionists to Washington. Your CEO, Erika, just shared the stage with you see the word, at Harvest Church with a PDF file. And you MFers want to put your toxic fake stuff into middle and high schools. Crazy, man. And those responses he don't even respond to. He only responds to people who agrees with him. Eli Kane. There's a person named Eli Kane. I need to stop breaking the screen down because I want to keep this up. It's something else I want to show you all. Eli Kane had another crazy tweet. Eli Crane, that is. Here it is. This person says, as someone who used to really appreciate and respect Candace, I am truly disgusted by her relentless attacks against Erika Kirk. How far are we fallen when we can no longer show respect and dignity to a grieving widow? The most disingenuous statement you can make There's no way this person makes this statement in good faith. You only do this when you're over the target, but I want to remind people, because they're lying, pretending that this was Candace Owens's, this was always her plan, which I don't know that or not, but they're pretending that Candace was doing this for a jump, but they forget Candace spent like the first 2 months either defending Erika or ignoring or pushing to the side all the red flags by Erika. Many of us saw it from the beginning. It was obvious. It was blatantly obvious. It was so obvious that it almost seemed intentional, you know? But let me remind people of what Candace Owens was saying just a couple of months ago. How many of you all remember this video? Because most of us was freaking the heck out. Like, Candace, what are you talking about here?
Arguing and debating on campus, fighting for the gospel and truth in front of a big crowd. And then he blinked. He blinked.
Oh, boy.
And saw his Savior in paradise.
Oh, boy.
And all the heavenly mysteries were revealed to him.
I mean, that it's just beautiful to really think about that, that he just blinked and then he was with the Lord. And it is just a fact that Charlie just loved the Lord. It was
just real quick. Listen, this is look, I just have to say it. I said it then, I'm going to say it now. The weirdest thing when I first saw this clip and I heard what Candace had to say, and I know this was a couple of months ago, but even then I was freaking out. I was like, it didn't seem organic to me. I'm just calling it for what it is. Candace's response didn't seem organic. I know a lot of people saying, Didi, she's being strategic. Fine. But we got to call a spade a spade. Candace's response, the first thing she said was, it's so beautiful. It is. It just is. To just think that he blinked and he's with the Lord. Like what? Huh? Huh? Okay.
Constantly, like I told you, going through the conversations and how much he would just say, I need to pray about it. I need to pray about it. I need to pray about it, wanting to marry Erika. First thing he said, which I think I showed you guys last week. And Erika's correct. It is important to remember that message of forgiveness that we have within ourselves. And it sometimes feels very hard to do that, but we are called upon to forgive people, to forgive our enemies, even in moments that it seems impossible or extraordinary to do so. But it is also important, it's not really a but I want to assert that it is also important to remember that what Christ is, as I said at the top of this show, is truth, right? Christ is truth. And we are not getting the truth right now of what happened to Charlie Kirk on 9/10. And to be very clear, I am going to need it. I demand it.
One moment, Charlie was doing what he loved.
Now, I want to also make sure that I state before we go to the next person here, because the next person will be the one and only Josh Hammer. I know a lot of people know me for my older content and my current content as well. But what I'm saying is a lot of you all were here well before 4 months ago. I want to make sure that you understand. I see your comments where you're saying, Didi, have you forgot that Candace could be a part of it? She's all a part of the show. And listen, as a matter of fact, there's a comment right there. Candace is a Mason trusting point. Remember that. Even though I don't believe a Mason, it just means she was one of the people to help build it. But to your point, I do understand that that's a possibility. I've never not said that that's not a possibility. Candace could 100% be a part of the show. As well as I see you all's comments. I'm not going to say the people's names because it's just not polite at this stage. But I also see the content creators' names that you all throw in here and you say, Didi, I don't trust this person, or this person's blew up too fast. I see your content. I see your comments. I understand. But like I've said with Candace, and I'll say it with them or anybody else, as long as they're saying something that I agree with, I'm going to agree with them. But the moment that they steer us in a different direction, I'm going to be right here to call them out for it. All right? So I want to make sure that I state that. All right. So let's this person, Alice Clark, the TPUSA affiliate. Let's see here. What did she say earlier? So apparently breaking news, judge denies Tyler Robinson's motion to disqualify prosecutor in Charlie Kirk Pow case. And she said, thank God. I mean, I don't know why that matters anyways. The guy's a pawn, allegedly. Yes, but she also, so Caroline Leavitt, for those of you that don't know, Caroline Leavitt stated, she also announced, Caroline Leavitt is the spokesperson for the Trump administration. For those of you that don't know, she tweeted and said earlier today, Erika Kirk will be one of President Trump's special guests at the State of the Union, which will be today, by the way. The president will call on Congress to, quote, firmly reject political violence against our fellow citizens, end quote, with Charlie Kirk's widow in the chamber. Interesting. Mia responded and said, on September 10th, Charlie Kirk was taken out. Less than 6 days later, Erika Kirk was already on a Zoom call telling his staff that everything they did before that day, every project, every sacrifice, every ounce of Charlie's vision is now, quote, irrelevant. Hear that again, irrelevant. Erika Kirk really sat on a call and used the word irrelevant. Right? To describe everything that happened before September 10th. That's the day the father of her children was pow-powed in Utah. To her, Charlie's life work ended the moment his heart stopped. Who unalived Charlie Kirk? To Erika and the parasites, it's a cold-blooded portrayal of a man whose body isn't even cold yet. But everything before September 10th, any email project you were working on, it's not that it's irrelevant now. Irrelevant. Yeah. 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 Erika Kirk thinks she is being celebrated as the new face of the movement. In reality, she is being prepared for her final walk off the stage. Knowing the art of war, you don't fire a widow and create a martyr. You elevate her until she has nowhere left to go but out. That is very interesting. All right, there was another one I wanted to get to. Let's see here. Where is it at? This person said something crazy earlier. Let's see. Okay, he says, this person said that Candace Owens cannot be considered on the right any longer. She's worse than the lefty socialist. It is wicked and she is beyond evil. This guy, Steve D, says, correct. Candace embodies the biblical definition of a satanic slanderer of the brethren. Endless accusations, just like her true father, the devil. Intended not to stoke repentance and redemption, but despair, nihilism, and destruction. What Candace Owens is doing is the most wicked and satanic thing that has ever come from the online right. Once again, they never deal with the content. They only deal with the person. Right? That tells us everything we need to know. Another popular person on the right here, a guy by the name of Robbie Starbuck. This man said, this is wildly disturbing and inappropriate. What Candace is doing is indefensible and deeply dishonors Charlie's memory. What are you talking about? You don't know what happened to him. What if this person had something to do with it? Would it still be dishonoring his legacy, his memory? He says Erika was the love of his life. How do you know that, dude? And the mother of his children. How do you know that? He's not here to defend her the way that he'd want to. He would have gone to war over this. Now, I wanted to react to this to say, this is more proof that these things are coordinated and not organic, because arranged marriages are literally a real thing in the music industry. That's not a conspiracy theory, right? You got people like Jay-Z, Justin Bieber, Cardi B. These people will arrange marriages. You say, what would be the purpose of that? What would be the benefit of that? In Hollywood, just depends on the industry we're talking about. In politics, they pretend to be married to someone because it's not a coincidence that we've never had a man to become president or run for president and make it to the finalist as a single man. That will never happen in this country, because the optics of it will be sending the wrong message for the country, right? So the purpose of having a staged marriage or staged relationship in politics, even if you're not really in a relationship, or even if those are not really your children, is because it helps you politically. It helps with your image. It helps sell you to the people. The reason why they do it in the music industry is to sell more records. You say, how is that? Because when you have a Cardi B and you have an Offset, Offset has his own fan base from being a part of the group The Migos. When you have a Cardi B, she has her own fan base from being a stripper, right? A woman. That comes with a different crowd of people. When you bring them together, the record labels, boom, right? It's brilliant. When you take a Jay-Z and a Beyonce, two powerhouses in the music industry, when they come together, they form a conglomerate that's even more unstoppable, right? You generate more money. You generate more support. So I'm not saying with 100% certainty that Erika Kirk, Charlie Kirk were an arranged relationship, even though many of you all believe that. But without a doubt, don't speak with such certainty as if you know these people. You don't. We never even saw the faces of their children. Yeah, I understand that people do that in real life, in regular life, for different reasons. But these are not regular people. So their motives could be different. Especially after she posted that alibi picture of a little boy that's supposed to be her son that was much older than what her little boy should be. But we've already covered that. So this is extremely disingenuous. A very disingenuous thing to say. Or just ignorant. Josh Hammer. He was actually featured in the documentary. Let's see. Oh, yeah, by the way, I don't know if you all know this. Many of you all already know who Josh Hammer is, but it's important to note Josh Hammer, as many of you all should know, Tucker Carlson just interviewed Mike Huckabee. Mike Huckabee, by the way, pretty sure used to be the governor of Arkansas, the state that I'm from. And now Governor Sanders, who is affiliated or related to the guy, is now the governor. But I digress. Tucker Carlson interviewed Mike Huckabee. It went viral everywhere. I'm sure you all have seen it. There was a lot of backlash from the Zionists because Mike Huckabee was very much so exposed in this interview. And the interview took place in Israel. Josh Hammer, following this interview, called for Tucker Carlson to be neutralized. Josh Hammer, another person just like Ben Shapiro, another Israeli pretending or cosplaying as an American first conservative, is calling for another American to be neutralized following this interview. Why is this man not in jail? Why are you not in prison? Why are you not charged, arrested for calling for the public neutralization of an American citizen? So let's go and see what he had to say. So let's see here. He says Charlie Kirk deserved so much better than this demonic behavior from purported friends. Oh man, this guy cannot be serious. This is just actually here it is. This may be it here. Let's see what he says. He sounds just like Ben Shapiro. He sounds like the Temu version of Ben Shapiro, the Great Value version, the dollar brand, the off brand, the offshoot.
Tucker Carlson at this point is not just the most dangerous anti-Semite in the history of the United States of America. He's the single most dangerous man in America today, period, full stop, end of story. He is literally more dangerous than George Soros. What? He is more dangerous than anyone on the left because he is fundamentally out here not just to kick American Jews, Christian Zionists, all who take a biblical worldview. He's not just out to kick all of us out of the movement there. I genuinely think that this man is actually out to destroy the United States from within. If you look at all that Tucker Carlson has been doing over the past 2 years, whether it's his propagandistic videos in the Moscow supermarket and the grocery store, whether it is his fawning interviews with the Emir of Qatar, whether it's his puff interview with the president of Iran, his saying that Nicolas Maduro was this great sage of social conservatism. He repeatedly stands up for America's enemies, repeatedly throws not just America, but our close allies like Israel under the bus. There's a reason that Tucker Carlson's show was being played with.
He said our great allies, but proceeds to name just one country. Only one country in mind when he says our great allies. Plural, but he only names one country. One foreign country in mind.
With dubbed English language and then Persian language subtitles on air in Iran while the regime was slaughtering tens and tens of thousands of their own people. We've seen this play out in China, Russia there. He is a walking, useful idiot for the enemy's Western civilization. It's nothing less than disgusting there. I am wondering when he will pay the price for it. When will he be booted out from the White House? When will the president, vice president, everyone just say, you are no longer welcome in the corridors of power there. He needs to be stopped speaking at Turning Point USA, all this conference there. He is cancer. He's pure, unmitigated cancer.
A lot of hot air, a lot of emotions, no substance, a lot of lies, right? And the last person I want to speak about is this guy here. Many of you all won't know who this guy is. Let's see. So this guy is Reverend Jordan Wells. As we know, no human being can be a reverend, yet many of these people keep calling themselves reverend. If you go to the scriptures, anyone of anything that's ever referred to as reverend is the Most High. Never is a human being ever considered to be a reverend. Only the Most High. I believe it's only mentioned once, and it's the Most High that it's in reference to. But I digress. Now, if I had a way to zoom in, I would. Let's see if I can just do this so you all can see this. As you can see here, before we even get to the tweet that he put out, that is 100% on brand with all the other tweets. It's like they all got together and collectively put out the same tweet. This guy named Jordan Wells, look at his, I forget what you call it here, but his profile backdrop. This is a so-called Black American with Israel, Judaism, symbols and imagery on his backdrop. Someone says, what denomination are you? I am no denomination at all. Candace used sarcasm. Please tell me you get it. She did not use sarcasm in that original video. She meant it. That was 2 months ago before she said anything critical of Erika Kirk. But all right, so this here, that is already a red flag. Why do you have all of this Israel stuff on your backdrop? So then you scroll down, and his first post says, "Attention, all Bible-believing Christians, the storm is here. Anti-Semitism is exploding on campuses, in politics, in the streets, and it's the same demonic playbook that fueled the Nazis. But God is not silent. God stands with Israel. Reverend Jordan Wells drops fire." So let's go and see what he said about the documentary. So he says, well, just an hour ago, he says, exposing Candace Owens from Bride of Charlie trailer to full-blown anti-Semitic rant machine. Well, clearly that was ChatGPT generated, but okay, let's continue. Candace Owens just dropped her Bride of Charlie trailer, sarcastically thanking Zionists for putting in work hours promoting it via backlash. But let's call it what it is, another desperate ploy to stir hate while hiding behind America First. She's accused of straight up anti-Semitism. I'm not even going to read this part, bro. This is all ChatGPT. This isn't even from him. So let's go to the original post. He says, Dan Bongino is 100% right. Unrepentant attackers harassing and slandering grieving widow Erika Kirk will feel the flames of hell unless they repent. As a pastor deeply rooted in scripture and the unchanging truths of God's word, I stand firmly in agreement with Dan Bongino's righteous indignation in defense of Erika Kirk. The viral clip captures raw passion. Okay, I'm not reading that. That's ChatGPT. He can't even generate his own statements, man. So I thought I saw one more. Okay, I did. Here it is. He says politics has no friends, only users and opportunists, while the right is letting Candace destroy Erika and Charlie's kids in silence. What I've learned from politics is brutal truth playing out with Candace Owens right now. There are no real friends here, only users and opportunists. Charlie Kirk platformed and lifted up so many of these people. Now his wife Erika is under demonic satanic level attack. Leaked audio, wild conspiracies, even a full documentary targeting her. If she had no content to cover, there wouldn't be a documentary, dude. How about that part? We're only reacting to what is out there. He goes on to say she's hit his kids too. That's off limits. When has she ever attacked his kids? He's just lying. Most of his quote-unquote friends are dead silent. Cowards terrified of losing followers to Candace's small but rabid crowd of so-called Republicans. Shout out to the few with guts. Alan Graham, Seth Dillon, Ben Shapiro. Man, this dude said Ben Shapiro. And others who've spoken up. Tucker, never a real friend. How is this real? How is this real? But before we move on, let me say something about this guy. So this guy's name is Reverend Jordan Wells. His name is Jordan Wells, no Reverend. He is actually not a bot. He's one of those accounts that uses ChatGPT to tweet things for him or to word things for him. It would be very easy to call this guy a bot, not a real person. But he's actually a real person. He's posted videos, and I've spoken to him directly. In fact, I'm looking at a scheduled interview that he and I was supposed to do on November 23rd because he was posting nonstop nonsense about what happened with Charlie Kirk. I'm like, there's no way this guy's watching the same thing I'm watching. He's just flat out lying. He's a tool. He's a pawn, right? He's an agent. And I'm going to bring him on like I did that pastor from TPUSA. I'm going to bring him onto the show as well and expose him. He agreed to come onto the show, but it was my fault. He was ready to go, but I had a family emergency, so I wasn't able to bring him on. He won't even respond to my DMs now. including earlier today. I asked him if he wanted to come onto the show. He won't do it. I'm not shocked at all. Not shocked at all. And I said that was the last person, but actually, the last person I think will be the guy, Graham Allen. If you all remember, I actually just covered this guy the other day. He actually responded to my tweet. So let me go there first. So I put out a tweet earlier today. I retweeted him and I said, or his tweet says, anyone who doesn't rebuke this demonic attack by Candace Owens never cared about Charlie or his family. You used him to boost your own career, absolute cowards. You are all dead to me. I intend to fight her with everything I've got. I quote tweeted him and I said, death to you. Aren't you a so-called pastor? How about enough with the ad hominems and actually refute what's being stated? He responded and he said, not a pastor and never have been. But the truth is hard for you Candace cultists. He called me a Candace cultist. Yeah. Yeah, man. Okay. Prediction of the documentary. This is what I believe the documentary will consist of. I have no clue. I have no foreknowledge. I haven't spoken to Candace or anything like that. So these are all literally just shots in the dark. Where can we watch this documentary? The documentary is supposed to debut tomorrow. It's supposed to premiere tomorrow on YouTube. That actually is great. That leads me into my prediction, actually. I believe she's going to do it. Let me double check here. Let me see how she did the previous ones. I'm pretty sure her Becoming Brigitte. I'm going to look with you all, actually. Her Becoming Brigitte was a year ago, and this was under her live tab. So I'm pretty sure that's how she's going to do this one as well. She's not going to post it as just a regular video. She's going to go live. And I believe what she's going to do, similar to how she did the Becoming Brigitte, it will probably be 2 or 3 videos total. And I predict that Candace is probably going to, I predict she's going to use a culmination. It'll be a culmination of other people's research. I think she'll be giving people shout outs. I think she'll go to Lionel Nation. I believe she's used him. I believe she'll go to Zach from Wolves in Finance. I think she'll use Barron. She's had him on her show already. I think she'll use Dave Smith, because I think she's not only going to talk about Erika and Erika's past, but I think she's going to talk a little bit about Israel as well, right? I think she's going to try to tie some things and try to make it as airtight as possible, where it's going to be almost bulletproof, where when people come to refute it, they're going to have a very difficult time even directing people to the documentary, because it's going to be so overwhelming with damning information. So I do predict that it'll be a live and not a regular video. The aftermath effect. I believe that Erika is well aware of this. I mean, I don't know how she can't be aware of it. I think Erika is well aware of all of this already. And I predict that Erika, Kirk, and or TPUSA will have to make a statement about it. Because I do believe that these things are going to go ultra viral. Candace's videos usually do a couple of million anyways, which is viral enough. Somebody said that I bet it'll get shadow banned. That's a very good guess. I don't believe it will. Why do I not believe that? Because YouTube has been surprisingly lenient, for lack of a better term, on the Erika Kirk content. Maybe this one in particular will be shadow banned, depending on what Candace speaks about. But as I've said before, Candace, which I found weird, I've said that openly many times. I found it weird. Like Candace has said like whatever words she wants on her show, whatever term she wants, whatever topic she wants to talk about. Like I have to say PDF file. She can say the actual word, and her videos still go on to do millions and hundreds of thousands of views. So I doubt it gets shadow banned. Too many people are anticipating this. I guarantee you there's at least 200,000 people that already are looking forward to the video alone. So there's 200,000 views right there. And there's going to be a lot of people that are looking to see if she's going to share additional information that we haven't seen already. Right? Because we know about Erika's Romanian angels. We know about Liberty University, the weird situations there. We know about Erika Kirk's father's documentary, right? I've covered on the channel Erika Kirk's father's documentary in particular. I mean, so much stuff that's come out. We know about her MP and interviewing the director of CIA, the former director of CIA. We know about her mother's background, her father's background. But I believe Candace may go a little bit into details while also giving shout outs to people who have already originally shared this content. I think she'll probably do that with just a select few of people, but I do believe that she'll do that. Oh yes, proof that why I believe that this is all orchestrated as far as the backlash, because one, they know it's coming. They know that the documentary is coming, so they're trying to get ahead of the narrative. So they're this orchestrated. I believe that there's a group chat of like the guy Jordan Wells. I guarantee you Graham Allen is in this group chat. I believe it's probably about a 50 to maybe 150 of them. Maybe not as many as 150. And I believe they all collectively get together to decide to send out tweets at the same time. I do. Allegedly. Like to show you all something as to why I believe this is all orchestrated. Because there's a guy by the name of Matt Gaetz, as I'm sure you all are aware of. Let me show you all a poll that he put up the other day. Blew my mind. So he put up a poll on February 23rd, yesterday, and he says, should the U.S. strike Iran again? According to this, 57, almost 60% of people said yes. I refuse to believe that this is real. I believe these are bots. This single-handedly, to me, proves that you can't always trust what you're seeing or hearing from a person. Ian Carroll actually responded. He said, should Twitter do something about the Israeli bot swarms? This is obviously not even remotely close to American sentiment. I agree with that. Yeah, everybody's calling them out. There's no way these are the yes are this high, because before Ian commented this 22 hours ago, it was like 70% then. So it's dropped down just a little bit, but there's no way it's that high. There's no way. No way. Right. Exactly. These are the yes votes. Crazy. Crazy. Yeah, man. So that's my prediction. I believe it's going to be a powerhouse. I do. And I may do a follow-up video to just react, and if you all would like to hear my thoughts on it, because I'm curious to see what Candace is going to talk about and what she's going to avoid talking about. But I also believe, I want to state this too for the record. Can you do a video on Tatum? I do have a video on Tatum already. As a matter of fact, let me drop the link. I'll drop the link in the description in real time. I have a couple of videos on Tatum. Let's see. Tatum. It actually performed fairly well for my channel too. This was about 3 months ago. So here's the first video in the chat about Tatum. And And let me find the second video. Officer, where is he at? Actually, it's on my other one. Let me pull this up. There it is. And here is the second one. I just put the links to both of them in the description, so you should be able to see them. Yeah. But what was I stating? I can do a follow-up video tomorrow after the documentary comes out to give you all my thoughts on what is going on with as far as like what she covers and what she don't. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. I believe that Candace is going to make a thing to debunk or refute certain claims that's been made about Erika that are actually not true. I think that would help add credibility to the documentary. So I do believe that. Didi, are you watching the State of the Union? I don't plan to. I may watch like on YouTube. I might watch the After Effect. Didi, I miss seeing your locks. I may reconnect them later. It's possible. Love Tatum into the subliminals to Candace. I don't know how you was still feeling him even before that point. I mean, the guy's he calls himself a black Zionist. What does that even mean? Tel Aviv Tatum. Talmud Tatum. Our CO and Tatum friends, they were at one point, they claim to be like brothers and sisters, but clearly they fall on other ends of the spectrum. Have you seen the cities in us where Philadelphia is taking over? Saw that on YouTube. I was like, what? No, I haven't. I haven't saw that. Okay. All right, I'm gonna get to some of these super chats. Julia, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. You're so right, Didi. It's not red versus blue or red versus them anymore. It's good versus evil versus dark. Now, yeah, I agree. I have reason to believe it's always been that way, but more so now, way more prevalent now than it's ever been, for sure. Thank you, Adrian, for the $2 super chat. Why are they all stuck in this owning control? I don't know. Because it's their roles. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Pay attention. Truth Social announcement by Trump. Of course, CK's powwowing was written prior to the event. Was this a post that he's put out since? Because maybe I've missed it, but I'll go and look into it if I need to. I pray. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Contentious podcast. I pray for your protection, plus Candace bearing them more daily. You are all up against the cabal. You are doing God's work. I thank him for you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that big time. My goal as always is just truth. Truth. People say like I'm milking this or I'm talking about Erika or Charlie too much. I'm not. No, I had many problems with Charlie Kirk before. Like I wasn't the biggest fan. Like he and I had shared conservative values. I love the fact that he mentioned Jesus often, but there were many things that Charlie Kirk did, I believe, for shock value. I believe he said certain things for shock value. I don't believe that Christ was always at the forefront, but none of us are perfect. I also believe that Charlie Kirk was a tool. I believe that he was being used by a higher power. And what I mean is, higher society with foreign agendas, which I think is more obvious to people now than it's ever been. And I think he stepped outside of line and it went where he went. So, but when he was here, I wasn't the biggest fan of him. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Not to be morbid, but right. That's not grief. We'll see grief when her sparklers run out. Right. But the people that's defending her, they can't see it. But if she was somebody on the left, The left, they would not have left it alone. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Didi sent you an email. Okay, keep it the great work. Okay, I'll check it out after this. Notice how they bring up Candace's arguments, how they never bring up Candace's arguments because they can't argue against them. They can only attack her as evil. What a weak argument. It's no argument at all. That's how you know it's orchestrated. And then you got other people in the comment section who agree. The very few people that agree that are not bots, they have no substance either. What do we need with substance? We have ad hominems. We have insults. That's all we need. Why should we delve into the very things that she's accusing Erika of? The very things that she's suspicious of Erika of? The very things that Erika has been seen on camera doing multiple times? Who cares to deal with those things? Let's just focus on our feelings. Crazy. Here's a few dollars. Here's a few $dollars to help cover your Candace Cult membership fees. LOL, keep it the good work, Didi. I appreciate that. Saved by Grace. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Didi, thanks for keeping it real and balanced. You're a real one. Thank you. I appreciate that. Big time, as always. All right, y'all. I told y'all I'm working on an Epstein video. I'm going to hop off of here, and I'm going to get back to that. I really want to get this Epstein video out here pretty soon. I don't know if it's going to be a live or a regular video. I just feel like if I go live multiple times in the same day, I don't want you all to get, I don't want my videos to become watered down, and I don't want you all to get tired of, because it's good content. And if you space it out, then people will value you more. And I don't know if that's what I need to be doing here, but it's a really big Epstein video I need to be doing. Hit the like button if you do not mind. I would really, really appreciate it for those of you that are still left. I would really appreciate that big time. Pray for everybody mentioned in this video, including the people that were tweeting. Pray for everybody mentioned in this video, including myself. I would really appreciate it. God bless you all. And I'm going to get up out of here. I'm Demetrius. I go by Didi. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace. Oh, yeah. Didi got a podcast.
Attitudes and our work ethic become very important in realizing our goals and opening up possibilities. I had lunch a couple of weeks ago with a recent graduate of UCA. And his story is really fascinating. It's one of overcoming homelessness during his time pursuing his degree, first at a community college here in Arkansas, and then finishing his bachelor's degree here at UCA. His narrative ranges from estrangement from family for many years to a hopeful reunion with mother and siblings. His record is one of overcoming odds in a way that I probably could not, and certainly demonstrating levels of tenacity and patience and optimism that I can only marvel at. He wanted to talk with me about his new job and his career path going forward. I really need to be there to learn from him because that's where the real value was.
Everything I say in this video is alleged. Allegedly. No such thing as a life that is better than yours. Y'all can just repeat after me. I really appreciate it. Alright? No such thing. Come on, we can do better than that. Talk to it. Talk to it. Alright, let's start it over. No such thing as a life that's better than yours. You're worse than the rich white people who are, or the rich white Jews that own these record labels, because they don't even understand these populations. You have a lot closer relationship to these people, and you're leading them to hellfire. You are leading them in the wrong direction in the name of getting rich and famous. How dare you? Oh, yeah, Didi got a podcast.